Okay.
Great. Go ahead. You have 5 minutes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm good, thank you. So first of all, congratulations on the success of Raising Kanan and also just Power in general, the whole universe.
Thank you.
Did you ever imagine that Power would be, so significant and so successful?
I did in the very beginning. If you're looking at my early interviews, I said it would go for 7 seasons. And at that point, I was mirroring the success of The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I could use to gauge how long you should go when it's gone great.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually went the 7-season time frame, but we had 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
And then technically Ghost started 7 days after Power with all the results of what happened in Power. So we technically are filming season 9 of Power.
It's
So I
crazy.
didn't understand why I had to stop, because it's seen for the first time. Like, you look and you say, our diversity is becoming cool. With the streaming platforms, you gotta look and say they're creating so much content that they're willing to create the content that it speaks to the different audiences. And the Power universe, we used New York City as a backdrop. And because there's there's representation of everyone in New York, it was important to bring different people and to make it feel like everyone's there. So we had Serbian gangsters, you have the different dialect coaches from the Puerto Rican Spanish speaking person or the Dominican speaking person. And then it's a difference. I can't tell all the time, but it's a difference. They know if you from LA, you're Mexican and you speak Spanish, then we wanted to make sure it was all the way right and it represented everyone in a different way.
So as a producer, and then as adult Kanan, I have to imagine that Raising Kanan is, very close to your heart. So how are you feeling about the spinoff and, getting to tell more of Kanan's story?
I feel good. And it didn't have the spinoff perform, viewership be higher than the original show. Says it speaks volume. You know what I mean? Like the nostalgia of the 90s, the fashion, just the feel of it, even the musical choices. It all feels like, for the kids right now that growing up and going out and into this whole trap music sound, they're watching the show and going, some of them don't know the records that are playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? And then you got it's a little older that lived through the 90s that identifies with why it's the way it is. And they're actually excited by it, because you're not hearing these things 24/7 anymore. It's just like, has to be on your special playlist for you to hear these things.
Yeah.
So it does change it. It puts a different feeling around it. It makes it exciting.
Good. What are you hoping that the audience learns about Kanan in this prequel that we didn't already know?
Right. It started out a good kid, a good person. The things you go through make you, I believe that statement is true for a lot of people in their experiences. And then when you see the confusion and the trauma over the period, you'll understand when he turned into that person that you saw coming out of jail and wanting his business back and power, and looking at ghosting them like they not even like complete suckers, because they use law enforcement, they use the cops to put them away instead of killing them, because they had a closer relationship to Kanan than they did to Breeze. You know what I mean? And they knocked Breeze off, but for them to use the police, it was not the coolest way to do things. It shouldn't even be an option. But it spoke to Ghost's character and the narcissism that Courtney was writing into his behaviors that allowed him to just do whatever he had to do at the moment to be a solution. And it's cool. They'll even see why Tasha, there's a point where Ghost forgave Kanan and wanted him back around. And the focus was just better to work with him than to work against him. And you see that Tasha has additional passion or additional anger, and it's unexplained. It was unexplained in Power, but they'll get the explanation later and Raising Cane.
Excited about that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. And again, congratulations on all the success of Power.
Appreciate you.